Okay, so I wonder how many of you have seen one of these before. This is the DX98VHP. I'm on just a dummy load at the moment, and I can't push it to its full power on this test equipment because I'll cause a bit of damage, but by the same token, you get a bit of an idea. Pretty good receiver. I'm pumping a bit into it at the moment, but if we take that back a bit, 0.5 of microvolt. A little bit of processor noise on these things. You will get that on them. It changes from frequency to frequency. Some frequencies you'll get a bit of a pickup of that. If I go, watch this, and I put in 365. Yeah, we're getting a very clean sort of signal out of that there. And you will find on these things they do have these little generator noises. Look, when you've got an antenna hooked up, you don't hear it, but it's not so bad. So, I mean, totally illegal, obviously, these things. Just for the this is just for the collectors only. This is actually a collector's radio. I've had it here. Actually, this is not all the bits. There's only some of them. But as you can see, they they sort of exploded. That one's got to be the best one. Anyway, so we've put 8 new devices in this thing just to get it all sort of up and running. The biggest thing was trying to repair the board. A huge burn up on the board, and you know, there were a few parts issues. I really had trouble with Galaxy, to be honest. So we're there now, which is good. But boy, but just give you an idea. I'm going to run the power down quite low here. We're on a 150 watt scale, and I don't want to go too crazy on my monitor here, but hold. Yeah, okay. Straight away, you get an idea. And I can't push too much into my monitor here without giving a bit of trouble here. I'll end up repairing the monitor. So, you know, actually, if I just run the power right down to, that's the one, right down there. And I just want to make sure I am absolutely right down so I can show you a couple of features. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, okay, so that's better. I'm right down. I'm only doing about 100 watts there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 90 watts, 100 watts. Yeah. So as long as I don't talk too much, and we put our little listening device on over here, and let's put it on. I'm picking up a bit of that crap. That's something in my workshop causing that noise. I thought it was actually coming off the processor off this fella, but no, it's actually something in here causing that. I have to have a look at what's causing that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, let's just have a look. Where do I need to be? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Nah, not there. Hang on, let me just get this on frequency. Need 2 hands. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's sounding quite nice. So what do they have on these things? You've got 1. Oh, that's not really going to work really well. Let's put up all the silly controls on these things. 1, 2. Okay, all right, enough of that. So they do have echo, which don't really care about myself. They do have Roger beep on these things, etc. You're just hearing it come through the other side there. A lot of people will argue that this is a 10 metre radio and they can have it because it's on 10 metres. I would argue that, it's got a little bit of 10 metres on it, but I mean, seriously, does it get up to 490? Oh, you know what? Actually, let's have a look here. It does. Okay, so basically, yeah, it does a bit more than 10 metres than I thought. So no, I would say, okay, let's turn this around a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not type approved for CB or anything, but for ham radio, guess what? This might actually pass the acid test. How far does it get up to? 69. And then it goes back to 28. So 34, channel 1 to 34 is taking up to 29. Just about 28. Sorry, I need to bring that up a bit so I can see it. Yeah, 28. Let me just put something underneath that because I'm not seeing this display very well here. That's better. Yeah. So no, look. This was. I would love it to go to 29.6. I wish there was one more position. As you know, I'm not much of a CB nut these days, but I do like radios that can get up to FM 29.6, etc. So I'll just have a look at where that's, yeah, okay, so that's just going to keep going down to 25 megs, yep. Yeah, it'd be nice if you could just move that slot over and take it up, maybe lose a couple of bands down low and bring it up the other way. But yeah, anyway, but it's got, look, unimaginable power. It's I'm running off a 60 amp supply, and I just quickly put it into a dummy load, and there's hundreds of watts coming out of this. It's not just 100 watts. It's, they with their outputs sorted out, they really do percolate along. But yeah, I've got I'll keep that power down. But it's not a bad sounding radio either. 1 2 1 2. Oh, I can't hear it now because I'm on the wrong frequency, aren't I? Hang on. Where was I? 36. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 1 2 1 2. I'm just listening on an old 440 1 2, which I just use that as a bit of a receiver here, just to sort of listen to radios. But yeah, look, it's not a bad little device. It's these things here. This is not your best way of getting RF. 8 of these is a little bit average. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can generate RF, and I'd be a bit careful trying to get the max out of it. I think that you've got to be a bit careful not sort of going too far. And once again, just to be very clear, CB radio quite totally illegal. But yeah, you could use it on. You definitely, as a full call, I could run this at full power on 28,490, no problems. So, it's not as limited as I possibly thought it was when I first hooked it up. I've been concentrating on its ability to get some power back out of it after the big burn up, and repairing the output stage. Yeah, that's got a fair bit of swing on it, that clarifier. So yeah, you get onto 490 there quite well, and it will have. I've got the power turned down at the moment, but look at that. I mean, I've got the power turned down, and that's 150 watt scale. Yeah, don't want to do that too much. That's with the power turned down. Yeah, I'm gonna be repairing my IFR if I keep doing that. Both these 2 bits of test equipment up here are good for really maybe 150 watts peak. 150 watts peak, max. Ideally 125, but really short bursts. Don't go too crazy with it. Anyway, look, I could go through the many features of this thing, which will not be, overly exciting, but what I can tell you is that it does do some power. It can get to 28,490 like we're looking at. So it's versatile in that it could be used as a ham radio quite legally. So my initial comments of, this is not legal. Well, it's not legal for CB, but for amateur, you get away with that. So just having a look too, they've also got a little 10kc switch here for handy if you're on 490, you want to quickly go to 500, or just move the clarifier a little bit to 500. Now that should work like that. Yeah, 490 to 500. That's a nice little way to be able to do, moving from frequency. Just take a contact up 10 kcs off 28,490. And those of you who are saying that the 490 is not a call channel, oh boy, what a debate, eh? I don't know. I tend to make calls on 490 and get off it just to sort of keep it clear. I know a lot of you don't, but that's up to you. I just think it's courtesy, but it doesn't matter what I think. All right, well, Galaxy DX98VHP. VHPs for very high power. It's definitely has some high power. Oh, sorry, and just have a quick look. Heat sinking, yes, they've got a bit of heat sink in there, but it's quite a large board underneath, just so you can see there's all heat sinking. That's the real heat sinking that is doing the major power. Okay, thanks for having a look at this. I'm going to probably send a message to a mate of mine to say this is look, it's a bit of a sad story. Someone died who owned this radio, and it's a very good friend that wanted to restore it as a collectible, and it's been here for a few months, and parts has been the biggest issue, getting those parts in, and it's it was quite a burn up. That anyway, we got there in the end, but I knew the person quite well as well, and it's a pleasure to get this thing going again. And as you can see, it's not like it's not without its box and books and everything. It really is the real thing. This our mate, he didn't mind buying some good gear. I'm not sure I call these completely good gear, by the way. I've got to be a bit careful here. I still think that the output stage on this is a bit average, but you know, I'm used to a lot of ham gear. See, it even says 10 meter amateur transceiver with built-in frequency counter, starlight faceplate. How's that, eh? All right. Well, thanks for having a look at this little video. We'll get that boxed up, and you know what, my mate will see this video before he even hears from me. He'll send me a message to say, hey, saw your video, that's my radio. Good on you. Anyway, no, much appreciated to letting me fix it for you, and it's certainly it's good memories of somebody that loved the hobby. 73s, everybody, all the best. VK3 Charlie Mike, cheers.